Welcome to Legends in the Making, the no BS, high impact show for leaders who refuse to settle for mediocrity. If you're tired of playing small, stuck in hesitation, or watching your team operate at half capacity, this is your wake up call. Here's the truth: legendary leadership isn't about titles, talent, or luck. It's about discipline, alignment, and execution. In each episode, we cut through the noise and get straight to what will really move the needle: the brutal cost of staying comfortable and how to break free from it, why your energy dictates everything from the execution to culture to bottom line results, and how to build unstoppable momentum without burnout, second guessing, or endless overthinking. This isn't theory. This isn't fluff. This is a playbook for leaders ready to ditch the ordinary and unleash the legendary. If you're ready to stop talking about potential and start creating undeniable results, you're in the right place. Let's get to work. And today we are talking about going from chaos to control, how to master the inner game of leadership. And I really love this conversation because I know I talk a lot about this, but we are energy. At the core of who we are as a being, it's our energy. And our energy dictates everything. And so if you are chaotic or reactive or overwhelmed as a leader, really the truth is it's your internal chaos that's being reflected to you outwardly. So oftentimes what we don't understand, it's kind of like, why is this happening to me? Because internally, that's what's going on. The world is just a feedback mechanism for us. It's just a reflective lens for us to take a look and understand that what we have going on internally is going to be reflected to us externally through everything that happens in our lives. And that happens in work too. So your external chaos is just a reflection of your internal state. And so today I want us to talk about how we regain control. How do we start from the inside out? Because this is where the game has to change. We're reacting versus doing the actual root cause fixing. We're getting feedback externally that then we're trying to chase externally to fix, when it's like if we went inwardly and understood where we were at, that's where the game would really shift. So it's time to master your internal game so that you can watch yourself, your business, and everything around you shift. So why do most leadership problems keep resurfacing? Really, the answer is very simple: because you're not addressing the root cause. Truth bomb, truth alert. If you're internally chaotic, your business will mirror that. Let me say that again. Let's just sit here and understand that our external world is a reflection of our internal state of being. So if our business is in a mess, then we need to look internally to go, what's going on with me internally that's creating this internal chaos, because it's being reflected outwardly to me. So what are some clear signs that your internal chaos is hurting you? Do you constantly feel overwhelmed and exhausted? Are you a reactive decision maker? Do you feel like you're always firefighting, putting out everything that pops up? Is your team confused? Do you have inconsistent execution? Like, those are great signs that there is internal work for you to do to get yourself aligned to then produce externally what you feel internally. And I speak a lot about this, but when we are in lower vibrational states, and there's a great book out in the world by David Hawkins, it's around levels of consciousness. And for me, that's a great book to talk about what's the level of frequency that we have and where do we reside on that scale. And ultimately, when we're in lower states of vibration, of fear, of shame, of lack, of anger, control, all these lower vibrational states, when we're in those states and acting from those states, ultimately what we get back, not necessarily right in that moment, because the universe isn't like an automatic feedback mechanism. Sometimes it's going to give you the space to be able to learn. So you may not get that back almost immediately, but when you cycle back to that, if you're not looking internally to make the change, you're going to keep repeating the cycles. We just try to do different external tactics 99.9% times in our business, not looking of like, where is our starting point? Where are we coming from? Are we in a state of calm and peace and aspiration and motivation and clarity? Or are we in a state of desperation and lack? And you got to get very clear on where you are at in order to be able to really impact and move yourself and your business forward. So imagine your leadership energy as a radio frequency. If you're broadcasting static, or depending on the channel, negative or positive, your team will never clearly receive your vision. So what are you tuned to? Are you tuned to service? Are you tuned to making a positive impact in the world? Are you tuned into what's my purpose and why am I here? And how do I uniquely deliver that? Because each one of us has a unique frequency. There are no two souls that are the same. And so our frequency is our thumbprint. That what we emanate into the world as a vibration of who we are is unique to us. And the beauty is we actually get to tune it and change it so that it can become crystal clear. So you have to ask yourself, what's the radio frequency that you're emitting? And is it really dialed in? And can your people, everyone around you, clearly pick up on what you are trying to share with them? So nobody really talks about this. We talk about like being motivational, rah, 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 and go out and doing, which doing is part of it, but we have to start with our being. What's the state of which we are operating and acting from? And leadership is an energetic game first and strategy second. So it's about being, who am I being? And then from that state of being, what am I doing? Being, doing. We start with where we're at first. Think about aligning yourself first, being super clear on who you are first, and then acting from that state. If I'm acting from a state of desperation, let's say, what am I going to get back if my action point or the energy that I'm choosing to move from is desperation? I'm going to just get more desperation. And it goes back to a previous episode this week. What's your standard, not your goal? So if your standard is to vibe at the highest frequency, if your standard is to be the highest and greatest version of yourself, of somebody that's peaceful, calm, strategic, trustworthy, honest, if that's the place you're acting from, the universe is going to match that back. And so in shamanism, we also learn that we're all interconnected, we're all one. So why shamanism works in business is because it's about how you internally align to have impact and clarity and confidence in your decision making and execution. Because when you're internally aligned, you're acting from your highest state of being. But if you're not internally aligned, you could be acting from lower vibrational states, which then means you're going to get lower and inconsistent results as part of that. So 3 energetic truths every leader must know. Number 1, your inner state always dictates external results. Let me say that again. Your inner state always dictates your external results. Number 2, decision-making clarity comes from energetic clarity. And number 3, chaotic energy always creates chaotic outcomes. So you can't clearly reflect the sun in muddy water, or you can't see your reflection in boiling water. So when you have a placid, calm lake that's still, although it's water and it's still moving, you can see your reflection. So clear energy and clean energy equals clear and clean results. So are you trying to find the reflection in muddy water? It's a good reflection point, something to really think about. Take a step back and really objectively look, where am I at? What's my state of being? And where am I acting from? So how do you go from chaos to control? What are some practical steps that you can take in order to go from feeling internally chaotic to feeling that you are in charge of your state of being? And here's how you can reclaim your energy in leadership or in any aspect of your life quickly. Look for your biggest energy leaks. Look for burnout indicators. Look for unclear boundaries. Look for multitasking overload. Look for when you're indecisive and you can't make a decision. We are not clean in our energy when we can't make a decision. We are here to make a choice. We have created a world recently where it's like we just live in massive indecision, massive that something else better is right around the corner. No, we are here to choose, because in that choice, the universe is going to help grow us. So if we never want to decide, there's no clarity in who we are. So you have to make a decision. You also have to have a very established energetic hygiene discipline worked out for yourself. Do you have daily habits of breath work, of clarity rituals, of meditation, of energy clearing, of intention setting? Do you spend your morning getting aligned with yourself so that then you can go act in the world from that highest state of being? Do you spend time when you get into the office to clear your energy, set positive intentions? Do you have practices in the middle of the day or when things come up to slow down, realign? And how do you close out your day? Do you close it out with gratitude and appreciation and setting positive intentions for the next day? And then the other thing you can do to really get in control is simplify decision-making. Create clear, consistent decision-making frameworks that prioritize clarity and intuition, and eliminate your reactive behaviors. The first reaction typically is not your highest self. There's a book that I read and practice every day called The Course in Miracles. And one of the lines there is the ego speaks first and the ego speaks loudest. So that first, like, I'm going to respond with this, or, ooh, I'm going to send this email, typically is not the first reaction that you should take. Stop, pause, get still, do a little breath work for a minute. Check in, listen to the small, still voice. That's the right answer. That's the answer that's not the ego. That's the answer that's not reactionary. Slow down so you can actually hear that voice. Like I said, remember, the ego speaks first and the ego speaks loudest. So guess what? Here's like a surprising truth. Small shifts in your personal discipline instantly translate to massive shifts in your business momentum. Small energetic shifts to move yourself back to the present moment, to move yourself back to a state of calm, to move yourself back to a state of peace will have a ripple effect that you can't even see just by slowing down. So immediate shifts that you can implement today. Put a 15-minute daily clarity ritual before any work or meetings on your calendar. Before you go into a meeting, have 15 minutes blocked off to center yourself, ground yourself, vision what you'd like that meeting to look like, etc., so that you have clarity and are in control. Come back into yourself. Don't check emails, turn off your phone, just be present with yourself. Stop multitasking, one clear decision at a time. And have energy checks throughout the day. Am I operating from chaos or am I operating from control? All of those things will have a massive, massive, massive impact on how to become more clear and will ultimately impact your results long-term, way down the road. And so the legendary leadership alignment method, which is our trademark, our proprietary system that we use to help solve internal chaos, we have align energy leadership. So we are focused on how we get immediate energetic clarity and reset it. How do we activate a legendary culture? So we want to remove all the chaos and replace it with clarity and accountability. And we want to ascend to align success. We want to build sustainable business momentum from internal energetic alignment that moves outward. So think of your leadership as the captain steering a ship. If your hands are shaking, the ship's going to be zigzagging and going all over the place. Stabilizing internally first, and watch your teams align effortlessly. So let's focus on your internal state of being. How do you really align that? How do you remove the negative energy blocks and step into control in a way that you never have before? So if you're ready to leave chaos behind and reclaim your clarity, confidence, and control, DM me controlled right now. Let's recalibrate your leadership from the inside out and create real, lasting momentum. Remember, your outer success reflects your inner state. Master your energy, master your leadership. It's time to dish the chaos and step into legendary leadership control. DM me control to get started today. Stay legendary, stay aligned, and until next time, I ask that you share this or tag any leader that needs to hear it, and let's create a ripple effect of unstoppable execution. I cannot wait until next time. So stay aligned, stay disciplined, and keep leading at the highest level.